sports and event programming for Showtime Networks, to talk a little bit more about the show for Showtime. Stephen?
Thanks, Kelly. We're obviously thrilled. We have two consensus top 10 pound-for-pound fighters, arguably, probably more like top 5 or 6 pound-for-pound fighters, and as importantly, facing off in a unification to crown the undisputed middleweight world champion. That would be only the 7th time in boxing history that has happened. We talk about the names of the other 6 undisputed champions. It's an impressive list. Usyk, Crawford, Jermaine Taylor, Bernard Hopkins, and Cecilia Brækhus. So after Saturday, we will have one more name on that list, and it will be either Shields or Hammer. We have 2 fighters here, a combined record of 32-0 with 13 KOs. So not just 2 champions, but 2 undefeated champions, and 2 very charismatic, talented, and certainly not shy to speak. If you haven't caught it yet, there are 2 episodes of our Emmy Award-winning series, All Access, previewing this event. Both are available on social media platforms. A reminder, this fight will be on Showtime Live this Saturday the 13th at 9:10 p.m. If you're curious, the reason why it's 9:10, we are premiering a documentary called The Resurgence regarding DeMarcus Cousins of the Golden State Warriors at 8 p.m., and therefore it carries over until 9:10. Before we get to our main event, when I'm sure all of you are very anxious to talk to our fighters, I do want to point out 2 interesting undercard bouts, 2 televised bouts, in which we are featuring 2 undefeated prospects in the suddenly resurgent heavyweight division. Our co-feature, Jermaine Franklin, an undefeated young heavyweight, 17-0, 13 KOs, versus Rydell Booker at 25-1, 12 KOs. If you haven't heard of Jermaine Franklin, then you're probably not studying the heavyweight division very closely. He is considered one of, if not the top American young heavyweight prospect. And he's making his national television debut against the once-beaten Rydell Booker. In the opening bout, Otto Wallin at 20-0, 13 KOs, versus Nick Kisner. Wallin is also an undefeated heavyweight. He's from Sweden, making his U.S. debut, and is already ranked number 5 by the WBA. We all know that the heavyweight division has gotten considerably more exciting lately, and these are 2 of the young guys who are looking to make a name for themselves. I think a worthy undercard for a fight of this magnitude. I'll now turn it back to you, Kelly, and to get to the fighters.
Thanks, Stephen. Thank you so much. Also, I did want to remind everyone that, if you can mention, tickets are still on sale for this event, which is promoted by Salida Promotions. And also, the official hotel for the event is the Ocean Casino and Resort. So we're excited to have them be a part of the promotion as well. But now I would like to turn it over to Salida Promotions and the president of Salida Promotions in particular, Dimitri Salida, to talk a little bit more about the fight and make the introductions for the heavyweights. Dimitri?
Thank you, Kelly. We're very proud to promote this historic event on April 13th, featuring 2 champions, Claressa and Christina Hammer, and a great undercard with Jermaine Franklin and Otto Wallin. I want to thank Showtime and Stephen Espinoza for believing in women's boxing, for believing in this fight, and giving this incredible platform to be able to build it throughout the time that we have taken to build this into truly a very special event. And it feels very big now, but a month from the fight, a year from the fight, it's going to be historic, and people are going to talk about it for a very long time. And we are very, very proud to be a part of this magnificent event. On the undercard, we have 2 incredible heavyweights. One in Otto Wallin, who's from Sweden. He's 20-0, ranked number 5 in WBA, number 5 in IBF. He is an example of when dreams and hard work comes true. He's from a small town in Sweden, and he believed since he was a kid that he's going to be the heavyweight champion of the world, and he's going to have a chance to prove that his worth on April 13th when he fights with Nick Kisner in the opening fight. In the co-main event, Jermaine Franklin who is considered by many, as well as myself, as the best American heavyweight. He was a national Golden Glove champion as an amateur, beat many of the top-rated heavyweights in the game today. As a professional, he's beaten numerous undefeated fighters and gatekeepers. I have seen him in the gym prepare for this fight, and he looks in great shape and very special, and I believe that he will have the chance to showcase his skill on April 13th. But he's fighting a very, very tough and skilled Rydell Booker, who I've also seen prepare for this fight, and Rydell also had a tremendous amateur career, great professional career, so this is going to be a great fight that's going to really show the boxing fans what Jermaine is made of.
Okay, great.
Kelly?
Thank you so much, Dimitri. I'm going to go ahead and ask Otto if he would like to make an opening comment, and I'm going to start also, Otto, by asking you, you can share a little bit about your background. I don't think a lot of the U.S. press have had a chance to really talk to you, but also how important is it for you to have a great performance in your U.S. debut, and how do you accomplish that? Is there any extra pressure that you feel making this U.S. debut? So, Otto, introduce yourself and talk a little bit about that.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank Dimitri and Showtime that they put me on this show, and it's very exciting to be on this show. It's a huge fight with Christina Hammer and Claressa Shields, and I'm happy to be a part of the show. As far as myself, I'm from Sweden. I'm from Sundsvall. It's a small town with 100,000 people. I was the second pro ever to come out of that town, and yeah, I've had 20 fights, 13 KOs, 20 wins, and I've captured the WBA Continental Belt and the EBU European Union Belt. I've been a pro since 2013, and I'm a trainer, Joey Gamache. I've been with him since late 2013, and we were training in Denmark for 4 years. Then Joey moved back here in 2017, so I followed him over here. And I had my last fight April 21st last year. So it's going to be a year and on this fight. And I'm just looking forward to it. It's finally here, and the training has been going very well. And I feel ready, and I can't wait to get in the ring.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Now I'm going to turn to Jermaine. And Jermaine, welcome to the conference call. We look forward to seeing you fight. You are a very exciting fighter and definitely a big name in the U.S. Heavyweight division. And so, Jermaine, if you'd like to open up with your own comments, and also, do you see Booker as a step up in competition, and do you have to do anything differently in camp to prepare for this fight, and what can fans expect to see from you on April 13th? So, Jermaine?
Well, it's an honor. First off, it's an honor to be able to fight on Showtime, to be able to showcase my skills and talent. So I want to thank Showtime, and I want to thank Salida Promotions for giving me my opportunity. You know, but I think Rydell is a step up in the opponents that I have fought, but I don't think it's nothing that I really have to change up. Like, we make game plans for every opponent that I fight, so we don't take anybody lightly. We treat everybody like they're the best. So we're just gonna come out there, stick to the game plan, do what we gotta do, and let the world see our skills, shock the world.
Okay, thank you so much, Jermaine. Okay, we're gonna open it up, operator, for the media questions. If you can do that for us, we'd appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at this time, please press *1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions at this time, please press *1 on your telephone keypad. And I'm waiting for callers to join the queue at this present time. Our first question is, it's going to be from Keith Eidick from theboxingscene.com. Please go ahead.
Yes, my question is for Jermaine. Jermaine, I was just wondering what you think of Rydell Booker at this point. He's obviously older, and he had a long gap there between fights, and has only had 6 rounders over the last year. But what do you think of him and his ability at this stage of his career?
Right now I think he still has the ability to fight. You know, experience does play a big part in boxing. So I've seen a lot of guys with talent lose to guys with experience. So we can't knock him for that. I know he's a little older, but like I said, he still has more experience than me. He has fought a Hall of Famer in James Toney. So I still have to give credit where credit's due. So like I said, I'm not going to take anything lightly.
How do you view him, Jermaine, in terms of comparing him to your other opponents so far?
I think he's going to be a little smarter. Like I said, with the experience, from what I've seen, he likes to keep like a man in between, like some space to use his jab, but he paws a lot. So a lot of guys I fought, they really tried to get on the bike, or some of them kind of tried to fight me. So I'm expecting him to try to use his jab and be on the bike a little bit.
I know you can't go in there looking for knockouts, obviously, but he's never been knocked out. How important is that for you to do that in this fight?
You know, earlier in my career, that's all I looked for was knockouts. But now I'm really like, I just come out there and give a good show. I'm a warrior. If the opportunity presents itself, I'm gonna take it.
Great, thank you, Jermaine. I have a question for Otto as well, if I could. Otto, I was just wondering if you could tell us, those of us who are not really all that familiar with you, what you bring to the table in terms of your abilities and your style.
I'm a southpaw. I'm a good, clean boxer. I'm fast for heavyweight. I got good defense, good offense, and I'm pretty agile for heavyweight. I got good footwork and head movement. So I would say I'm a good boxer, and my craft is southpaw.
What can you tell us about your opponent?
Nick Kisner from Maryland. He's 21-4. He's smaller than me, so I think he suits me well. Yeah, there's not too much video out there on him, but there's some, and I definitely believe it's enough. So I know what I got to do, and we've been training hard, so I feel ready for him.
I know, Otto, this is obviously your debut on American television. How far away do you feel you are from fighting maybe a ranked contender or someone of that ilk?
I don't think I'm very far. I just want to come back now on Saturday and put in a good performance and stay busy this year, and hopefully a big shot is going to come very soon.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Our next question is going to come from Hugh Bernroeder from the Saginaw News. Please go ahead.
Jermaine, I think we talked earlier about how excited you would be if you were on the same card as Claressa Shields. Could you talk about your history with Claressa, your relationship with her, having grown up in the same area?
Well, yeah, me and Claressa met probably about a good 5 or 6 years ago, maybe longer. We met a while ago at the James Toney tournament, and I had fought this guy from Detroit. And after the fight, she said, like, you know, she liked the way I throw my punches straight down the pipe. But my coach and her old coach was very close, so we used to go to the gym when we didn't have no gym in Saginaw. There was a point in time we didn't have a gym, so we used to go to Burston Fieldhouse, and we used to train up there. So I got real close and familiar with Claressa. So it's just an honor to see her. You know, she's always been great, and she always did great things. It's just an honor to be on the same card with her.
Did your sister know her, or were friends with her?
No, my little sister, she knows her a little bit. Like my family is like my immediate family is kind of, they know her. They done seen her around, and she just seen them at fights and stuff like that.
Thanks.
Our next question is going to come from Carlos Toro from the Fightful. Please go ahead.
Thanks. First question for Otto. Otto, I know you said that you feel like you're not that far off from fighting a ranked guy, and I know obviously before, earlier in the call it was said that you're ranked in the top 5 at a WBA and IBF, both titles being held by Anthony Joshua. Do you kind of have an idea of when do you feel like that fight can possibly be made, or at what point do you feel like you're in a position where you can challenge for those heavyweight titles?
I think that I'm not very far. First of all, I just want to get back now and be successful and have a few fights this year, and I think by next year I'll be ready.
how important is it to, have a good showing, especially in your U.S. debut on national TV on such a big card featuring Claressa Shields and Christina Hammer on the undercard? You feel like there's maybe not more pressure, but more incentive to go out and have your best showing out there?
Yeah, I'm used to fighting on TV back home. I think all my fights have been on TV. But it's, of course, different over here. It's a huge show, and there's got to be a lot of people tuning in. And it's very important for me to do a good performance. I want to show to Salida Promotions and Showtime that they made the right choice to put me on.
And one quick question for Jermaine. Jermaine, obviously, you're undefeated, and you're taking on a guy who a lot of boxing fans remember from back in the early 2000s. Do you feel like a win like this against a guy in Rydell Booker who's never really been knocked out is the type of win that will really push your name out there as a rising contender?
Yes, I think this fight will push my name out there as a rising contender because the guy, Rydell is still who he is. He still has a little name. So by the fight being on Showtime, I think it'll give me the exposure I need. So I think it's a great fight to push me out there as a contender.
All right. Thanks, Jermaine, and thanks, Otto. Best of luck to the both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have one more question in queue. Operator, go ahead.
Our last question is going to come from Stephen Casper from the Worldwide Boxing. Please go ahead.
Hi, this question is for Otto. Otto, when you first heard that you were going to be coming and fighting in the States in Atlantic City, what was your reaction to that, to being able to fight in the States on Showtime and in Atlantic City?
I was very happy, very thrilled. It's been a dream for me since I was a kid to fight in the U.S. and to do it on Showtime. It's amazing. So I was very excited, and yeah, I've never been to the Boardwalk Hall, but I hear it's a very nice venue, and people around me are saying that all these great fighters fought there. So I'm very looking forward to go there and to put